Check me out now. Return of the smooth operator. Shotty on repeat. I say sleep later. This another favor. Consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air. Fantasy a dream. Real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless. Learn to live shameless. Talk about me alive, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless. So I'ma style on them. They washed up. It's a rap. Throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them. Otakus for the win. Tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue. Get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. About time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. 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 Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point. Moving forward. The battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a minor, but made me a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. Come 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 vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather, be weather, be tripping, starting to control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, loose-ish. Why they still lying? They don't do this. Bad at board games, whole world clueless. Selling they soul for Roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a slice, extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge the teller? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame? Ever blink in the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds. Think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe. Tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do? Come vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Ask what up? Vibe with the. Wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple eyes. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd Without Fear. Got the homie Carter presents in the building. Welcome to Blerd Cave number 198. Which, by the way, the Blerd Cave, the number one comic book news stream on this or any other Earth in the multiverse. Which, by the way, you can find on Google, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere good podcasts may be found. And if you do, be so kind to leave a rating. I know people have been leaving ratings on the Spotify. I think we've got we got about 15 some odd ratings. Give us some more, because that helps us reach more listeners like yourself. Help us expand Earth's mightiest listeners beyond plus ultra. That said, we got us a big show today.
Ernie, how you doing this morning,
man? I feel terrible.
Hey, your throat still fucked up? Pause.
Yeah, it is. It's still ate up. Well, here's the good news, though. Here's the good news. It had nothing to do with the shellfish I discovered. Because if that was the case, I would have been over that shit by now.
Is it because you changed it? Is it because you changed the camera angle?
No, had nothing to do with that either. What it had to do with was good old fashioned Memphis weather changes. Because we went from being like below freezing, or not below freezing, but like around freezing temperature. Basically, when it was cold enough that you left the water running at night. So the pipes don't freeze. And then it immediately shifted to like 80, almost 90 degrees.
Yeah, okay.
So that fucked your boy sinuses up big time. But that said, we're still out here and we're still doing the thing. And we also I'm pulling up some stuff here because I want to make sure we don't miss. I'm trying to be like Aerosmith. I don't want to miss a thing. Let's see. Let's go to. I got to remember the sections I must go to pull these things up because I don't want to lose any of this. But yeah, Carter, we got us a pretty jam-packed show here not because we have so many topics to talk about, but we got some deep ones to jump into. At least one in particular. We are first, however, and I want to make sure that I catch this before they all disappear. Card, before we jump into everything, let's address some super chats. We're gonna let's get into these super chats. Here.
That's why you wanted to do it. Hopefully your throat is hurting real bad, so you can't do it. That's why your ass drinking that water, so you can do it. I swear to God. See, this is why the villain arc is starting. That's why we got rid of the beard. We got rid of all that facial hair. The villain arc is starting. He got
the sunglasses on, everything. But no, I want to thank Gabriel, the Dark Knight, for that 1999 super chat. Thank you for that, homie. It says, happy Saturday, Ernie and Carter. Dropping my ties in the play early while I listen as I'm paying bills. Man, I know that feeling. I'm about to have to do my taxes, so...
Oh, wow, that's a thing.
Yeah.
I forgot about that till you said something.
Yeah, got to get a tax man. I don't want the IRS looking for me. We also got LJ Brown coming with the 5 pounds. Says, why does Carter look like he stole Marvel's visual effects for the last couple of years?
I don't know what that means.
No, see, Carter, y'all, you know how y'all were all complaining about how the MCU has terrible special effects? Y'all were like, man, dude, these special effects are whack. Y'all know why? Carter stole them. He stole the good ones. He forced Marvel to have to use unfinished CG because he was out here robbing Victoria Alonso. and messed around and got her fired.
I mean, y'all know he lying because it's clear what Carter been doing.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so Carter, let's go ahead and jump into this, man. Let's get right to it, brother.
we can't yet.
Wait,
we can't yet.
We can't, because you know what?
Gearless Mo.
He came in here.
The nomad himself.
He came in and said, "Nah, not yet." Oh, my man came in here hot with the. Oh wait, you know what? I just realized my effects are not going to go off right now because because I just realized something. So for those who don't know, I recently updated Windows, and apparently it did not appreciate my various and sundry voice meter inputs. So here, we're gonna do this again. Hitting us with the wait, it's still not doing it. Anyway,
it still
doesn't
don't
matter.
Right,
it doesn't
I'm reading
matter.
it. So
go ahead.
With the max damage from Gearless Mode with the 99.99 saying we still got it. And let me give some shouts out to you, because after finishing that second season, oh dear God, I almost fuck around and started calling you the Chief, Jonathan Moda. I came very close, because that max damage was just about as strong as one of them right hands to your kidneys that the Chief was giving people on Megalobox. If you all have not seen that, please go watch that anime. I didn't even know that the second season existed up until one of my homeboys who's been on the cave before, the boy Po Sheep, shout out to him, until he told me there was a second season. Boy, I was missing out.
Depending on where you were watching it, depending on where you were watching it, it could have also had been that they hadn't uploaded it. Because I think like if you don't like on Crunchyroll or whatever, I'm pretty sure like you can get it there. But like if you were trying to watch that shit on something else like Peacock or whatever, they only got like the one season.
That boy said Peacock. Okay, with the okay, we got to move on now.
It's true though. It's true. It's
all right. We got Marty Mar with that 2-piece white with one side, $9.99 super chat saying, "I'm so tired here of white people misusing the word woke to apply to anything they hate about inclusion. It's getting redundant and boring now. The only people who do that, and it ain't just white folks, it's black folks too, because there are black folks who are like that. The only people that misuse it like that, 9 times out of 10, are on Twitter to help their own point. But you are correct. I'm sick of folks misusing it.
Oh no. They ain't the only ones. That like and I know what Marty Ma is talking about too. There was a
I don't. What you talking about? Put me on game.
There was a woman,
okay,
who was on the news network The Hill. And she was promoting. I wouldn't expect you, Carter. You're not. You don't run in the same political circles I do. But no. So she was doing an interview with, I believe it was Brianna Joy Gray, and the woman's book was all about like it was. I forget the title. But something about it was basically about wokeism.
Okay.
Quoting fingers, wokeism. And Brianna Joy Gray asked this woman, now, just in case you don't know this, Carter, Brianna Joy Gray is a black woman.
Oh, yeah, I know who that is.
Okay, well, she asked this white woman, define the word woke.
Okay.
Now, I want you to understand something, Carter. This woman wrote an entire book about the definition of woke and why it's killing our country. She could not define the word woke when she was asked what it was. Her response was, well, it's oh wow, this is a clip that's going to go viral. That was her response. That was her full and total response. She had no definition. And the thing is, because it's a wokeism is something that Republicans, right wingers, and MAGA heads like to throw around when they want to basically use a slur that they know will get them canceled.
I'll tell you what that reminded me of.
What?
The way you said this woman responded to it.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of when R. Kelly was getting interviewed and this brother asked R. Kelly, do you like teenage girls? And his response, when you say teenage,
yeah. He was like,
that's what that sounded like when you just described it to me.
Well, he's like, well, wait a minute, just define underage. Like, how young is too?
Oh my goodness.
No, so here's the deal.
Remember when being woke was a good thing?
Yeah, well, no, and that's the thing. So, Carter, I don't expect you to know this because, like I said, you don't really keep up with politics like that, but I am terminally connected to the political arena.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is a talking point that Republicans use to basically demean anything that is either considered black or LGBTQIA+, or really anything that is just not white. Whenever they want to describe something that they don't like that isn't white, they say woke. It's basically a shorthand for pretty much any slur they could potentially use. And it
is a sickness of
Yes,
the highest order.
Yeah, and you know what? Every time I hear, it's funny that it's actually funny that you said R. Kelly, because every time, Carter, that I hear white people, Republicans, whatever, whenever they use the word woke to define something they don't like, especially when they can't define it themselves, the first thing that pops in my head.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
That is how I feel every single time. We have also got Be Bold training with that 1999 super chat. Says, what's up, fellas? I'm at WonderCon this weekend, too. Big ups. This is my first con since I started reading comics again, and it's dope. Have you guys attended any cons in the past? And if so, how was the experience? Well, I can only speak for myself that I have been to some of the local cons around where I live, which are like Anime Blues Con, which is an annual anime con here in Memphis. And then there's Memphis Comics Expo, which, as the name would imply, also here in Memphis. We also have Mid-South Con, which is also here in Memphis. I have also been to some cons outside of Memphis, but they're few and far between. I don't really travel much, but I've been to Dragon Con, which was really fun. I think Dragon Con is the biggest con I've ever been to. I've also been to Brooklyn Comic Con, which oddly enough is in Brooklyn, and all of which were fun. Great experiences. Dragon Con, I gotta say, will ruin you for any other con. Dragon Con will ruin you. You will just be like, yeah, I don't know what the rest of this is. Because I saw dudes, chicks, and everything in between wearing some of the most wildest, most outrageous, most outlandish cosplay I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was great. Carter, what about you?
So I've only been to one, actually. I was never able to go to Anime Blues Con back home with Ernie and with a lot of other friends because I didn't even know that shit existed. And when I did know it existed, I didn't have means to get there because I did not know where it was. The only con that I have been to was here in LA, and that was LA Comic Con. That was where I kind of kicked shit with Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman. Not long after we had them on the cave. I got to see Kyle Higgins when he was talking about some Brady and Black stuff. Scott Snyder. Oh my God, what's his name? Who did Batman? Black Mirror. Who did that cover? He did Witches as well. Come on, you know it. Come on. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I'm not gonna lie. The whole time before you said those names, I was gonna say Greg Capullo, but that's not correct. Was it Brian?
But anyway,
no,
it wasn't Brian Azzarello. There wasn't Brian Azzarello. They have like a one-word name, I believe.
Jock.
Thank you. He was there. He was at LA Comic Con as well. So that's the only one I've been to. I think WonderCon is actually here, not LA, but I think it's in California.
Like,
I could be wrong. Maybe it's in, I think Anaheim. Right. I think it was in Anaheim. I think I saw. But yeah, LA Comic Con is the only one I was.
It is into the Anaheim Convention Center.
Okay, I was right. So yeah, that LA Comic Con is the only one I've been to. I was going to go to San Diego Comic Con because I wanted Ernie and I both to go for that Hellfire Gala. But after looking it up on the Cave, them tickets for the San Diego Comic Con been sold out. So,
oh yeah. The only way we would get in is if we got invited. The only way we would get in is if we got invited.
The motherfuckers went out last November. They got sold out. So.
Oh yeah, nah. San Diego Comic Con, you got to get on that shit like stupid early. You got to be like. Yeah. Bam. We got we still got more. We got
a bunch more.
We still got more. Oh wow, here we got one from the homie LL Melvin. L with the 2000 party over. Oops, out of time. Super chat says there's a 100 plus people in here and only 14 likes.
Ooh, y'all fuck it up.
Look.
Jesus!
What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Get them likes up! By the way, said takes off the belt. If y'all don't get them like, look, hey, you know what you gotta do? When you get the belt off, you gotta do a little thing where you like, pop! Dude,
Judgment Day. Judgment Day.
Bro, you wanna hear something? This is gonna make me sound like a terrible father. But one day, okay, so my daughter, Cersei, she wasn't paying attention that I had entered the room, and I was carrying like some of my laundry like back and forward.
Yeah,
and I had my belt because I was taking the belt out of one of my pants so I could put it in the wash. So since she wasn't paying attention, I just snuck up on her and I popped the belt behind her.
You low down.
Now I want y'all to understand something. My daughter has never, ever been hit with a belt, ever in her life. That is a universal sound of terror. There are a few sounds on this earth that are unmistakable. Like I always tell people, if you ever hear someone, my cousin taught me this. Someone tried to break in his house one day, or one night rather, while he would have normally been asleep. They got in the house and were getting towards his bedroom.
Yeah.
He keeps a shotty in the house.
Okay. Where is this story going?
He just racked that motherfucker one time. Like he said, all he did was. He said you could hear that motherfucker run back down the stairs and out the door. Because there is no sound on this earth that sounds like a shotgun when it does. You know what it is. I don't care if you've never seen a shotgun before. I don't care if you've ever heard a shotgun before. You could literally go in your entire life never having even known shotguns exist. If someone racks a shotgun behind you or next to you or within your presence, you automatically know that bad intentions are all that are coming behind that. So so a belt is the same way. Because like I said, my daughter, never has she ever. Not by me, not by anyone in my family. She has never tasted a belt. So the fact that she just she was like she knew, like if she knew that whatever it was, she did not like it.
A girl has never seen pro wrestling, but she heard the Undertaker gong go off and knew it was coming.
Look, and hey, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be. I want to keep it 100% fucking real with y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, that if you hear someone rack a shotgun or pop a belt, you don't even hear the actual sound. All you hear is that gong. All you hear is that gong. That's it. You don't hear nothing else. Nothing else. But no, let's see. We got some more here.
Yes, we do.
We got some more here. By the way, people, please get the mics up, please. Don't make me have to go get the soft jazz. Oh man, yeah, you weren't kidding. We do have a bunch more.
Yeah, I told you.
We got the homie Dominic Coles with a $5 super chat. Says anyone who uses woke that has nothing to do with sleep should get Bernie Mac slapped. Heads of state. No,
I wouldn't say that.
No, I think you should, because people use words that they don't understand what they mean. And I don't like that, because I feel like people, because here's the thing. So, and I've said this before. Mm-hmm. Anytime someone uses the word woke around you, ask them what it means. What do they mean by woke? And I'm going to tell you right now, one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to get some wild-ass answers that have nothing to do with the word woke, or you're going to get confusion. Because people just parrot what they hear other people say. It's kind of like slang. Growing up, there's certain words that we hear growing up that just kind of become a part of pop culture. And sometimes people know what they actually mean. Sometimes people don't know what they mean. And a lot of times, sometimes people misuse slang, and it ends up getting morphed into something else. Woke is basically conservative slang that got lost in translation. Like, it has woke to them means nothing like what it meant originally. Yeah, it got taken and perverted. It's terrible.
Thank you for the 10 gifted, Gearless Mo, by the way.
God damn.
Yeah, he had that happen when you was talking, but you was getting your shit off, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Man, this man out here. God damn.
But
with the go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just miss, like, I understand what he means when he says that, like, woke has, if it has nothing to do with sleep, get away from me. But at the same time, I miss when woke was actually a good thing, because you were conscious and you were aware of things. That's why I say I miss when woke was actually a good term to use, because it actually meant you were on your shit. But now it has been just destroyed and corrupted and run through, and just goodness gracious,
it's been perverted. It's kind of like, you know what it is, you know what woke is, and not to say like on the same level as far as how terrible it is, but it's like the word epic. Like, remember when people used to overuse the word epic?
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Like, epic doesn't even mean the same thing anymore. Like, epic can be applied to just about anything now, or I don't even know if people even still use it, but
I'm on the Epic store right now.
See, there you go, man. Did you get your what was that? Was it Mechanicus? Whatever it was a Warhammer game.
No, that Gladius. No, it looked like Gladius? Some kind of civilization to join. I'm
okay.
Straight.
There you go. I ain't mad at you. Here, almost forgot. LP3 with $10 super chat says, "Happy Saturday, fellas. Hope all is well. Just recently copped a PS5. What do you recommend as a must-have in the collection?" Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna tell you right now. Get PlayStation Plus. Do yourself a favor, get PlayStation Plus. Because if you do, you will have access to a metric buttload of games, depending on what tier you get. If you get, like, I think it's the middle tier of PlayStation Plus, you get a redonkulous amount of video games that you just play at your leisure, whatever. But I do recommend trying out the Horizon series, Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West. I would also recommend checking out the Demon Souls remake. Elden Ring, if you haven't already. I would like to say God of War Ragnarok, but I can't really recommend that game anymore in good faith, because that game kind of royally pissed me off.
Did you beat it?
Yeah, I beat it.
Oh, okay, because we stopped talking about it for a while.
Yeah, I beat it.
Not a while. We just stopped talking about it. Okay, there you go.
My issue with
Good Lord.
What happened?
Sig Fang with another 10 gifted.
Oh Lord, good Lord, man, y'all are out here, man. I appreciate y'all on that.
We just started.
Look, right?
We 30 minutes in,
right? But to carry on, I would say check out the Dead Space remake. It's really good. If you have not already, your mileage with this game is going to vary. I know Carter and I liked it. I don't expect everyone else to get it, but if you really like Kojima games, Death Stranding is really fun, but I would say look into it first. Don't just buy it. That game is very much a game that you will only like if you really like Kojima games. Ghost of Tsushima, if you've not played that, the PS5 version is amazing. It's beautiful.
I recently, yeah.
Returnal, also a very fun game, but it is punishing. So if you don't like difficult games, don't do it. Yeah. Spider-Man Miles Morales, because duh. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? And then I would say, I don't know if you tried this one out, Carter. Did you ever try out the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart game?
I forgot that game existed till one of my buddies. He just got a PS5 and he was like, "No, that is the game I'm wanting to play on it," because he's a huge Ratchet and Clank guy. Oh, yeah. I forgot the game existed. I've been before I got the Have a Nice Death, I was on that Demon Souls remake.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's tons of really good games. And like I said, if you get PlayStation Plus, you exponentially increase the number of games that you could play. I will say I don't recommend the highest tier of PlayStation Plus, which gives you access to the PS2, PS1, PS3 stuff, because you have to stream those things, and I don't know. They're not bad. Like, it's not like it's messed up. It actually works really well, especially if you have good internet. But like, I don't know. I just didn't see the value in it. But like being able to, because that's how I played Death Stranding, was through PlayStation Plus. I didn't buy the game.
Gotcha.
I've got it through my PlayStation Plus membership. Also, if you have never played Bloodborne, I think you can still get. Do they still have where you can get the games for free? Like there was that PlayStation collection.
I think they were supposed to be stopping that sometime soon. Yeah, I will also say, if you're somebody who you can't afford PlayStation Plus, I would say game sharing is always an option.
Yeah, if you know someone, PlayStation Plus, hit them up, be like, hey,
can we game share? I'll buy some stuff sometimes. You buy some stuff sometimes. Because either way, whoever you're game sharing with, if they have PlayStation Plus, you get PlayStation Plus.
Yes. So that's actually how my daughter gets to play a lot of the games she wants to play, is because I have them, she has them. So. And
they're going to have access to whatever collection of games you have gotten through PlayStation Plus, because your account their account is on your PS5. Right. So that's always an option. If you ain't just got the funds, but you fuck with somebody hardcore and they don't mind helping you out for a little bit, that's always another option. We got a $4.99 here from Birdtown Music Group. It's called The American Dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. So.
That's true. Hey, you ain't lied there. The American Dream is not what people think it is. Look, the only American Dream I give a shit about is he's gone. And that the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby.
We got $49.99 from good old Marty Ma. Melanin people made the term woke popular, and it means awake, aka conscious, not the trash they spew to hide their obvious racism with the drunk emoji.
Facts. I dare anyone. I challenge you to try and convince me otherwise. I challenge you, because it's a fact. It's a fact. You can't. It's indisputable. It's indisputable. You know what I forgot to do?
What'd you do?
I forgot to post the tweet.
Damn it! While you do that,
I just did it. I had it pulled up. I just never hit.
You just okay.
I never hit tweet.
Yeah.
But no, we've got actually, let me make sure I put the right one. Did I put the right one? Yeah, I did. Okay. I was making sure. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. No, I was the link that I put in there. We also got a 1999 super chat from Seafang Architect of Sin, says, got a bonus from work. So I'm sharing the wealth. Also,
thank you.
Get them likes up. God damn it. Dude, we appreciate that. Also, congratulations. Let's see here. We have also got, let's see here. Of course, we have, as we saw earlier, Of course, the homie Gearless Moda in here with the 10 gifted, just out here hooking up everybody. Y'all enjoy those. Y'all enjoy those memberships, man. He's out here taking care of y'all. We have also, and, as we also mentioned earlier, Seafong Architect of Sin with the gifted, 10 gifted right there. Look at that, man, just spreading the wealth. Spreading the wealth. And then we've also got
somebody
Pearson.
was Blerd Club Silver for 7 months, but they deleted the message.
Oh yeah. It got deleted. I think it might have been somebody who like probably got one gifted.
Okay, it was Dominic Coles.
There you go.
I just right clicked it. There you
Okay. It's we got Pearson with the 550 Canadian. Putting 5 on it. It says, good morning from Western Canada, gentlemen. Started collecting comics recently. Been a channel lurker for a while, but now first time chatting you live. Well, first off, officially
welcome, eh?
Welcome to the channel, eh?
We should stop doing that.
No, we should not. We should not. We're terrible. Anyway, so glad to have you. Thank you for reaching out, letting us know that you're out there. That's the thing. I always tell people, I don't lurk shame because I'm a lurker everywhere else I go. Like there are times I watch people who have no clue I actually watch them. But I definitely say, hey, we always appreciate it when you speak up. Let us know you're out there. We appreciate you. Thank you for that. We've also got Dominic Coles with the $5 super chat. Says, Blerd fans, F yo like, get this money. JK, love what y'all do. Get them likes up. All right, we see you. Look, I would have to come get you. But no, I see it. I see it here. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and get into our topics, man. We got this is one that's this one might I don't think, well, you know what? It's not going to be bad. Well, depends how you look at it. I don't know what the implications of this are going to be, but for those that have been keeping up, if you've been in the MCU sphere as of late, paying attention to a lot of the news going on, and this is something we actually talked about, I would say not too terribly long ago.
Yeah.
Not too terribly long ago, we talked about the Marvel Studios visual effects boss, Victoria Alonso. Now, I don't want to rehash too much of what we talked about before.
Okay.
But I just want to put it out there for those who for those who don't know what we're talking about here. Victoria Alonso was I say was because she's no longer with the company, but it was originally stated that Victoria Alonso had stepped down from her position. Who, for those who don't know, she's the longtime visual effects boss. She's a co-founder of Marvel Studios alongside Kevin Feige. Matter of fact, her entire titles as of late is, I believe this is as of 2019, she was the president of physical, post-production, visual effects, and animation. And news came out a couple of months ago that she was creating toxic work environments for the visual effects artists who are working on various Marvel Studios projects. And one of the biggest criticism I think people have had as of late, I think even going back as far, I think the most recent that I've seen people really start complaining was with Avengers Endgame. Because you didn't really hear people complain about the visual effects up until that, which some of them are warranted. There are some instances where there are unfinished visual effects. There are some instances, I can point out two, specifically in Endgame. There's a scene with Hulk when everybody's charging, where if you look closely, he clearly looks like he's still almost like the animatic.
Yeah.
Not 100%, but like it just, you can tell he wasn't finished. He wasn't done cooking. And
keeping with that, when Thor showed up and they went back to the shot with him, with Mark Ruffalo in the Hulkbuster armor, you could clearly tell that like
in
Blerd
Infinity
did
War.
that shit on Photoshop one good time, just trying to mess around with some stuff.
I mean, yeah, it is true. That was me. I take full credit. But yeah, so, and it's one of those deals too where honestly, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. I've become less visual effects focused in my old age. I care more about the overall package than just like the sum of its parts. Though I will admit there has been some jarringly obvious CG as of late, and I think She-Hulk caught a lot of flack for it, which I didn't really have much of a problem with She-Hulk. I mean, every once in a while there'd be something that was kind of weird, but like honestly, I think anytime you're staring at a CG character for more than like 5 seconds, you're gonna get that. And then when you get to like Thor: Love and Thunder, I think was probably the most egregious one. It was the most obvious one, and a lot of that has been attributed to Victoria Alonso creating these toxic environments, supposedly, allegedly. What was stated, basically, is that over the course of Victoria Alonso's 17-year career, working with Marvel, going all the way back to the first Iron Man film in 2008, basically, insiders claim that she could make or break you in the visual effects arena of Hollywood. That she was a kingmaker. That, like, if she liked you, the sky was the limit. If she didn't like you, the limit was the sky. So, that's how she... If she didn't like you, you weren't going to go very far, basically.
Okay.
But it's one of those deals where we've had different people corroborate these claims. We have various people, dispute these claims. There have been visual effects artists who have claimed, yes, this is true. She's a terrible person. She's awful. There have been other visual effects artists that say, well, she treated me cool. And I've never seen her toxic behavior. We've even had actors in the MCU who have even spoken out and said, oh, no, she's great. She was always nice to everyone on set. Which I kind of wonder if it's one of those deals where, you know how, like, when you're out and about and, like, maybe say someone that like a mutual friend of the family or something like that, that they know your mother or your grandmother. And they're like, oh, she's such a sweet woman. Yeah, da-da-da-da-da. But they don't really know her like you know her. It's one of them deals, probably. That's what it sounds like. But
can I just say that I fucking hate people that do... when the one you just previously said, where it's like, man, she never did me wrong. When you say shit like that, it gives this aura of, but she's done it to other people.
Right.
You kept your fucking mouth closed. Hey, shit ain't gonna happen to me though. Speak up, bitch.
Yeah, basically.
Hate people who do that. Dude. I fucking hate people who do that.
I mean, I get it. I 100% get it. But no, the other thing here is that so this week news came out that she had stepped down. And then about a day or two later, word got out. Various outlets, reputable ones, supposedly, claim that she didn't step down. She was, in fact, fired. Now, there have been various reasons that have come up for this. Some people were of the belief that it was because of the toxic work environment that she created. I don't know if that's true, because from what I understand, it seems to have less to do with that and more to do with a breach of contract. So, word got out that she was working as a producer on Amazon Studios' Argentina 1985, which is a movie. And Marvel Studios, for those that don't know, has a strict non-compete clause in the contracts for all executives. So that said, she's not supposed to be working on any films in any capacity for anyone that would be considered a competitor. Now, there are caveats to that where if she asked permission, got permission from the House of Mouse, they would let it go and, you know, have her do it. And there was even some rumor that that was the case even. But something happened, something broke down there, and it's going to be one of those deals where we're probably not going to learn the truth about any of this until maybe a year or two from now. But her lawyer, Patty Glazer, has disputed the notion that it was about her working on that movie. Her lawyer has said, and I quote, "The idea that Victoria was fired over a handful of press interviews relating to a personal passion project about human rights and democracy that was nominated for an Oscar, in which she got Disney's blessing to work on, is absolutely ridiculous. Victoria," and I find it interesting that they had to point this out, but I honestly didn't know this either. I knew she was gay. I didn't know that she was Latina. It just never struck me. Didn't catch it at first. But they said Victoria, a gay Latina who had the courage to criticize Disney, was silenced. Then she was terminated when she refused to do something she believed was reprehensible. Disney and Marvel made a really poor decision that will have serious consequences. There is a lot more to this story, and Victoria will be telling it shortly in one forum or another. Now, Carter, I don't remember her criticizing Disney over anything specifically other than the representation of LGBTQIA plus characters. And I don't even think it was so much a criticism as just a statement of intent that she felt they could do better. Now, to be fair, the representation of LGBTQIA plus characters in the MCU has gone up a tick. Not probably to the level I think would appease most people. But it's definitely kind of like with all things. There's more POC representation. There's more female representation. There's more LGBTQIA plus representation. And it's all just kind of been like a slowly trickling in process. But I don't know if that's a good reason for her to be fired, if that is actually the case. And I don't think it is. I feel like it's one of those deals. There's a lot of he said, she said. But at the end of the day, the reason why we bring this up is because, you know, I've seen too often in our chat people complaining anytime we talk about any MCU film. The visual effects, the visual effects, the visual effects. Well, the person who was in charge of them is gone. Does that mean the problem will be fixed? Maybe, maybe not. I feel like the buck stops with Victoria Alonso, because one of the most common criticisms visual effects artists have had about Marvel Studios is that, and this is a direct quote of someone who was speaking under terms of anonymity, that they don't get their shit figured out until it's too late.
Yeah.
Like when they come to someone with a project, they don't know how they want it to be until they're talking to the person that's supposed to do it. And the person who would be in charge of communicating these things would be her, or at least someone who reports directly to her. If she is the overseer, she's the chief oversight on this whole thing, then maybe her being gone will alleviate some of those issues with those things. But that said, I don't ever like to celebrate anyone being fired. Unless they're just an absolutely terrible person. I don't know the woman, so I'm not gonna speak to whether she's a bully or a good person or whatever, because I don't know her. And honestly, I don't know any of the people who are talking all this shit, positive or negative. But I will say this. If we see a massive, even just a marginal improvement in visual effects going forward with Marvel Studios films, well, we will know who the problem was. So, I don't know. What do you think, Carter? What do you think about all this?
What has Marvel or Disney come out and said in regards to this?
Nothing. No, neither Disney nor I will say this. It has been reported that Kevin Feige was caught off guard by it, and so too was Victoria Alonso. And Marvel Studios was not who fired her. It was Disney. So she got fired. Mickey Mouse himself came to her house, told her to pack her shit, get the fuck out.
So here's the thing. This is where I am. We're only getting her side and what you said that her lawyer said, which in instances like this, you always have to make your client sound as great as you possibly can. We don't know that Kevin Feige really did feel the way that these media outlets have said he felt like. Not saying that you were misinformed or you were wrong, but if we need clicks on it, we gonna say that these people felt like this. So with all that being said, there's a reason that this happened. Whether it was on Disney side, whether it was on Marvel side. When you made the comment of if the visual effects and stuff like that get better, then we'll know who the problem was. Not necessarily, because you could very easily make it to where you just look for someone, or you put your best foot forward to push that narrative. You see what I'm saying? So to even put that woman in an even more negative space, but until I really want to know what someone else has to say about this, because we're only getting this young woman's side, or the older. I say every woman is a young woman, because you say any woman's old, that's how you get killed. But with her lawyer saying that everything that she said, that's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to make your client look good. You're supposed to try to get everybody on this person's side, whether it be to secure a bag, secure films, secure a person's character. So that part is neither here nor there. That woman is doing what she's supposed to do for her client.
Nobody said. They said. Was it Disney did actually put out a statement? Basically, it's a typical PR statement. Basically, she got future endeavored. She got future endeavored is what happened. Basically said, let's see, I'll pull it up. It's unfortunate that Victoria is sharing a narrative that leaves out several key factors concerning her departure, including an indisputable breach of contract and a direct violation of company policy. We will continue to wish her the best for the future and thank her for her numerous contributions to the studio. Now, here's the thing. I will disagree just in the sense that Victoria Alonso is the person who hires the people who put together these things. She could do a better job of vetting those things, or not waiting to the last minute to figure out what it was that she needed when she needed it. At the end of the day, if you are in charge of a division, if that division fails, then it's at least partially your fault. Now, granted, they do a lot of work for hire at Marvel Studios. They've only recently started building their own in-house visual effects team, and likely for that reason. Now take that as you will. Because right now the same visual effects techniques that they use on the Mandalorian, I forget the exact proper term for it, the technical term for it, but it's basically a replacement of green screen.
Yeah, I remember you showing me that, because I didn't even know that was a fucking thing. It was just
yeah. Oh no, they ain't actually out in the desert on the Mandalorian. Not all the time, but a lot of the time they're on a sound stage that has a 360 giant is basically a giant ass fucking TV screen that wraps all the way around them. And they can put up whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, which is why when they're in certain areas, it doesn't look as jarring because it's not green screen. It's something that is technically actually there. But yeah. Yeah, they use it for Ant-Man. They use it for Thor Love and Thunder. They have used it, if I'm not mistaken, I think Thor Love and Thunder, Ant-Man Quantumania, those are some of the first movies that Marvel has made that have used it.
Apparently it's called The Volume.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Bam. That's the technical term. But yeah, like I said, it's honestly, yeah.
I just want to see what both sides are going to say, because you said this several times. You got this person's perspective, this person's perspective, and then somewhere in the middle is what actually fucking happened. So, especially in cases like this, with it being Disney, just like any other company, I feel like they will let certain shit slide as long as you are bringing money in. But just because they let it slide does not mean somebody didn't just write that shit down somewhere that, hey, you did this, you did this, you did this. So I'm wondering if they're going to come out with something like that to give more validity to why they did what they did. That's pretty much where I'm at on it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And like I said, they do put out and I see it brought up here here in the chat. It says there are only so many high end visual effects studios. Then you have 20 visual effects heavy projects for just one studio. So that's a lot of stuff. So that means I guarantee you a lot of times people were probably working under. You usually only hear this in the video game industry. There are very likely instances of crunch, and we've actually heard reports of crunch. If those know what I'm saying here is crunch is when a studio, at least in terms of video games, is working on a game and they are forced to work round the clock, sometimes 60-hour days, doing 7 days a week, and in a lot of cases sleeping in their office to work on a game so that it can be put out by the time or on time with what the shareholders were told. So, to meet a date or arbitrary deadline or whatever. You see this in Hollywood too, but more on the visual effects side of things. So, for the just to clear it up for anyone who didn't know what I was talking about. But yeah, the volume is definitely I mean, it works. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, crunches in all tech areas. Unfortunately, yeah, that too. Yeah. I don't know. I hate to see it. I hate to see a happy family breakup. But if it ends up working out for all parties in the end, clearly she is not short on work. She is clearly worked on other projects. So I think she'll be fine. Let's see here. What else we got here? Going back just to make sure I haven't missed anything. We are good. Let's move on to our next thing. Right quick. And that is them Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, or actually in this case, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Because we're talking about TMNT The Last Ronin was announced this week to get a very interesting game announcement. This is one of those deals where I almost kind of wish they'd have kept their mouth shut. Like, wait until they had a trailer or something ready, because I saw folks freaking out about this.
Oh, man.
I mean, honestly, I hate when people do that too, where they put out like a little CG teaser, and the next thing you know, the game's gonna come out like in 5 years. By the time it comes out, you've forgotten about it. We have a whole new president. You've likely had a kid in that time frame. I've never been a huge fan of it. But What I will say is I personally feel that this could be something interesting. I think it's a very weird place to start with a Ninja Turtles video game franchise, but let's just tell the people what it is. So, Doug Rosen, the Senior Vice President for Games and Emerging Media at Paramount Global, revealed in an interview with Polygon that a video game based on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin is in development. Now, I want to put this out here in case you may or may not be familiar with what The Last Ronin is.
I don't know how. We talked about that shit damn near every issue.
Yes, but well, I'd like to assume that every Blerd Cave is somebody's first.
I got you.
So just to put it out there, The Last Ronin, and I want to say it now. I want to catch anybody before they even bring it up. Please do not spoil any of The Last Ronin in this chat, because I guarantee you there are people in this chat who have not read it or have only just now heard about it. So, because
you caught me, because I was going to say something about it too.
Yeah, well, no, that's why I said what I said, because I wanted to catch you before you even started. So, because I remember how you did do a power bomb. You just gave away the whole twist right off rip. But no, The Last Ronin is a story arc involving the Ninja Turtles. It's a very dark and gritty set of the Ninja Turtles universe. And the only thing I will say is that all of the Ninja Turtles have been killed except for one. And the mystery in the story is which one is the one left standing, because that Ninja Turtle in question is wielding all of the weapons of their fallen brother. So it's never really made explicitly clear at first which turtle it is.
You just gave me an out and didn't even know it.
What?
Well, the game is apparently supposed to be, so this was one thing that got me excited. A tiny bit. A AAA action RPG. Mm-hmm. Okay. With me hearing AAA, there are only a couple developers who you would consider will be a AAA developer. So I'm hoping that this is where this series and this game is going to go to. With it being an RPG, because one of the games that was referenced was God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
When it pertains to...
Carry on.
We ain't got to worry about Atreus in this.
Atreus was the only thing that... Atreus was the only character that had good combat.
Atreus didn't have good combat. He was just way stronger than his daddy for some fucking reason. He was overpowered like hell. He was overpowered as hell. But
Kratos over here struggling, getting move canceled by trash mobs, bruh.
But just going back, that was one of the games that was referenced, and I don't know if they meant story, if they meant gameplay, if they meant style, stuff like that.
So the way I understood it was, it would very likely mean from like the way it uses a third person perspective, meaning kind of close. Third person, likely the fighting systems and the focus on narrative is what I kind of took from it. But they did say the game is going to heavily adapt the source material, which means it will focus on only the one turtle.
And this is why I said that you actually gave me an out, because with it being an RPG, you could totally have one this whoever this turtle is learning every time he levels up the other turtle moves, and you can incorporate that into the combat. You could do this game fire. The one thing I was going to say, but I was going to wait on the cave to say it because you've spoken your piece about this several times, is I'm really, really hoping that the game is M-rated. Not for like the cursing and shit like that. Just because I just saw somebody in the chat saying that we gonna be on that GTA 6, you gonna be on that motherfucker by yourself, because I don't give a fuck about Grand Theft Auto like that no more. But I'm hoping that it's M-rated for the adult themes and the combat of it. That's why I kind of hope it's or maybe you could do like a real hard rated T for teen kind of deal.
Well, I can put your fears to bed.
Okay.
Because Rosen also said in his interview with Polygon that just because TMNT is a brand popular with kids doesn't mean the devs will have to, quotey fingers, dial back the upcoming Last Ronin game to make it, quotey fingers, something it shouldn't be. He further explained that he sees opportunities for multiple TMNT games aimed at both young and more mature age groups, and that the rights holders of the Ninja Turtles, which is Paramount, will take different approaches to create content for each group. So,
I like that.
Yes,
that's dope. That's dope.
Like, case in point, for those that don't know, Shredder is in Call of Duty right now. Inexplicably. Same as Ghostface from the Scream movie. Same as Godzilla. They were just in Call of Duty for no reason. Didn't make no damn sense.
You could very easily do the I can't remember the name of that series, but you can do the TMNT for the Nickelodeon crowd, but then you could also do it for a little bit of the older as well. And I love that they're getting you money either way. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. You're making things accordingly. I really like that.
Now I can tell you what I've already predicted. So I think you and I are both. I think we're both old enough to remember this. Maybe.
Okay.
When the original Ninja Turtles movie came out.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember that parents were upset by it because they felt it was too mature. Because the turtles were using their weapons on people.
Yeah.
Which is funny because what else are ninjas supposed to do? Use harsh language? But no, I do foresee a subsect of people who will probably try and get this game canceled. They will be largely unsuccessful. Not because they think it's got some kind of crazy agenda or whatever, just because they're going to try and say, well, my kid loves the Ninja Turtles and he wants to play his game, but I'm not going to allow him to play a violent video game, and this is wrong. The Ninja Turtles should not be violent. And then that is where I will try to, in the most politest of ways humanly possible, slap them upside the top of their head and point them in the direction of the original Ninja Turtles comics, which were very violent and very crude.
So I'll tell you this. This is why this is where I disagree with you. Casey Jones with straight Proud Boy status. Okay, you got to go in the hole for saying some blasphemy like that.
I mean, he kind of was technically.
Oh, silence, young man. But here's my thing. I think that we have moved, or not you and I, but I think a lot of parents. I think they've gotten past that point to where they even care about their. What I see.
You have no idea how wrong you are.
Really? Because I just, you know what?
Okay, Carter, let me help you out. I'm gonna help you out because there's a lot of times where you try and tell me that I'm wrong about something that you don't. No,
really I think I'm going back to my GameStop days. This is what I'm doing.
Here's the thing. Parents do still care because they still protest shit. It still happens. You might not see it with Ninja Turtles anymore because they haven't really released anything Ninja Turtles related because, like in that same vein. Like, do you not remember that Secret of the Ooze was a direct response to parents' criticism? Like, did you ever not notice that neither Leonardo nor Raphael used their weapons on any actual person?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that.
There was a reason for that. It was in direct response to parents criticizing the first movie. Even Michelangelo and Donatello barely used it. Like, that's why they were using sausage links and shit like that. Like, and being funny, using little squeaky toys and shit.
I forgot about that scene. So you just thought, I just thought about it.
Yeah. I mean, but no, the thing is, if you don't, once again, if you don't really traffic in these circles, I totally get it if you don't catch it, but it still happens. I see it all the time. There are people, there have been people who, parents who literally have so much time on their hands, they still do this shit with video games. There are still parents activist groups who try to get hell, even when we were working for GameStop, there were parents groups out there that were trying to make it to where if you sold an M-rated game to a minor, that you would go to jail.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that is still something that's being actively pursued. So yeah, no, I could see this happening. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying that if it did happen, I wouldn't be surprised by it. I would be like, must be Tuesday.
But you know this just as well as I do. There have been several instances where some parent would come in there to get an M-rated game or a GTA or something like that, and we would have to explain, because this is something you all don't know. At one point, you would have to explain what was in these games before the parents bought it. I'm pretty sure you still remember that shit verbatim. And there were a lot of times where you would explain it, and they would go, this is what he wants. But that's where my mind went.
I've also been in the situations where I've done that, and then a parent comes back a day or two later and says, "I can't believe you sold this to my child." It's like, you were here. I literally held up the game and asked. I said, "This is an M-rated game for gore, violence, nudity, whatever, blah 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 blah," and you said, "Sure." So. Yeah, and that's not just something that's only happened to me once. I've had that happen to me dozens of times. So the thing is, parents don't care. Here's the thing. This is so Carter. I'm gonna teach you something about parents. I can say this because I have witnessed this so many times. Parents don't actually pay attention to what their children do. They don't pay attention to it until they see it for themselves. Most of the times when those parents were in there just to sign off on their kid getting a game, they were literally like, "How long do I have to be here?" "Yeah, sure, give it to him. I don't care." Those were usually the reactions. And then later on, those same parents would come back and be like, "I can't believe you sold this to my child." Because the thing is, parents are lazy. Not all parents, but parents like this are lazy. They want everyone else to be responsible for raising their child but them. Case in point, why you see all these different parents groups trying to get video games banned, trying to get TV shows banned. Hell, I don't know if you remember this, Carter, but there was at one point in time, I think, an active campaign to get Craig of the Creek taken off the air for showcasing lesbians.
You told me about that.
And it was in one of the first episodes. Like, there were parents groups who got mad because there were two girls on the show who, if you had half a brain, you would realize were gay.
They tried that with Adventure Time.
Yeah. And the thing is, they get mad and say, "Well, you're indoctrinating my kid. You're indoctrinating my children." Well, first off, you're the parent. You dictate what they watch. So if you don't like what they're watching, just tell them not to watch it. Oh, but that would be too hard for you because that means you'd actually have to be a parent. You'd actually have to pay attention. Most parents don't give a fuck. Or at least parents like that don't give a fuck. So
yeah, and that's where I was coming from. But you are absolutely right. There are still those that will enforce. Because the one instance I had of a parent actually saying, "Okay, no," was when this kid wanted God of War 2, and I explained to his dad what was in God of War 2, sex scenes, what have you, nudity, stuff like that, and he looked at his kid and said, "Oh no, get something else." Yeah. That's the only time I've ever had that happen. Yeah. Any other time, it's just like you're saying, parents are like, okay, just get it. Just get it. And that's why I don't think a lot of parents would say something. That was where I was coming from. Okay. But you're right. You're right.
It's weird because as a parent, and full disclosure, let's pull the curtain back a little bit. My daughter is about to be 8 years old. I don't police what she watches because I trust her. She knows. My daughter is really intelligent. She knows what words she's not allowed to repeat. My wife and I, we curse in front of her pretty much all the time from the time she was born up to now. And she knows exactly what words she's allowed to say, what words are okay, and what words it's situational. She also knows what is inappropriate content for her to be consuming. So for instance, she has access to my entire PlayStation catalog of games. She knows she's not supposed to play M-rated games, and she doesn't. And I'm not saying this because, I trust her, and I know for a fact she doesn't. She doesn't even try.
That man said, "I know my baby. Fuck you, man."
Yeah, no, it is. It's true.
I ain't mad at it.
Yeah,
There you go.
But that's the thing though. That's called. But the thing is, it's because I've instilled in her from a very early age, what is okay for her and what's not. And I feel like people don't do that with their children, and it's like they want to leave them out in the wild and let them figure themselves out. But at the same time, they also want to be a helicopter parent, but they don't want to do it themselves. They want somebody else to come in and do it for them. They want the government to raise their kids for them. They want the TV to raise their kids for them too, but only under, their guidelines. But it's like it just doesn't fucking work that way. It just doesn't. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I always tell people, don't forget how much they have tried to get canceled over the last, even as recent as the last few years. I saw somebody bring up Mortal Kombat 11. There are still parents out there who are pissed about Mortal Kombat. I remember Dead Space. Remember when the original Dead Space came out and they built an entire ad campaign off the fact that there were parents groups out there mad about it.
No. That was Dante's Inferno. That's what you're thinking about.
I thought Dead Space did it too. Like your mom will hate this game.
No. That was Dante's Inferno. That was Dante's Inferno.
Okay, never mind. Then it was Dante's Inferno, which to be fair, you would probably hate the game period because it is kind of weird. Your mom ain't gonna be the only one. Yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. But no, as far as like the game goes, we don't know when it's going to come out. They said it's likely a few years off. It is very in early stages. They haven't even announced who the studio is. We won't know who the studio is probably for a while now. I hope it's a studio with a good pedigree.
Who will scare you if you find out it's that studio?
Whew, man.
Who would oh shit. Who would make you do that one time?
Oh man. Honestly, if you told me, I mean, I knew it wouldn't be the case because the studio would not work on a Paramount property. If you told me it was WB Montreal, I'd be like, that hurts. Now, I will say this, if you would have asked, now if this was something that would have came up like years ago, I remember when, what was it, Obsidian? Mm-hmm. I remember when they were redheaded stepchildren in the spectrum of video games, and I think they only recently kind of gotten out of the hole on that front because they kind of found their... Obsidian was the studio that, like... They usually did sequels. Mm-hmm. They always came in on sequels. Like, the games are most... Like, one of the most infamous games they were known for was Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Gotcha. Which
was a dumpster fire of a game. Not because it was just bad, but because it also was broken. But they also did Alpha Protocol, that game. That game was kind of wiggity whack.
Oh man, I remember that.
But they also did Fallout New Vegas, which is probably one of, if not my favorite Fallout game. So
that's take the only one I have ever played.
New Vegas?
Yep, that is the only one I have ever played.
Huh. Well, don't bother with 4. Let that be what it is. But no, Obsidian has switched to doing more RPGs, and since not that they weren't doing them before, but like they've jumped over to doing stuff like Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 and Tyranny, stuff like that. And I feel like they kind of found their footing. So I don't want to say Obsidian in mean-spiritedness. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, that's probably the only one. Those are the only ones that really come to mind. If you told me it was Rocksteady, I'd be concerned too. But once again, Rocksteady wouldn't be working on this. And that's only because of just what they've been doing lately. You know what? If you told me Crystal Dynamics was doing this, I'd also be concerned. Because then I'd feel they try and turn into a live service game.
Boy.
Ooh, if EA was doing it.
I mean, they doing Iron Man. You still ain't got no faith in him? His face is not changed.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. No, I'm good on all that. I don't want to play no more. Do you know what? I tell you what,
How many of you all thought his screen froze? How many of y'all thought his screen froze? Like, be honest. Because he got my ass for a quick second there for a minute, but I saw the forehead move a bit. He got my ass. I ain't gonna lie.
You know what? Oh, no. I tell you who would get me. I tell you who would make me shake my head. Behavior. If Behavior got their hands on this, I'd be like, I'm good. I'm good. Because hell, I finally broke down and uninstalled DBD.
No.
I did. I was like, I'm not having fun with this anymore. I was like, this game is no longer fun for me. And I was like, I'm just going to cut it off.
Wow.
Especially after the recent announcements they made about what's coming to the game. And I was like,
what's coming?
So basically what they're doing, they've nerfed Billy. In response to how terrible the new killer is, their answer was to nerf Billy. So his engravings are all being nerfed. And they've made it to where you can no longer light burn the Wraith or the Nurse. You also cannot use flashlights to get rid of the artist's crows. And flashlights will not prevent the Nurse from blinking anymore. Which is funny because even in their notes they pointed out, oh, well, only like maybe 1% of the player base can do it. And they were like, so we're gonna go ahead and nerf the shit anyway.
That man said Ubisoft is the CW of gaming.
Actually, yeah, if they said Ubisoft was making this game,
y'all are some dirty moles, man.
Dude, you know what you'd be jumping, you know what you'd be doing if it was Ubisoft? They would have you climbing to the highest peaks of the city, and then so you could fill up the map with bullshit to do, and then you would be able to jump off of said building, swan diving into a sewer. That's what you would be doing. Like they would even repurpose the eagle sound. Like it's like they ain't even an eagle in the game. There's not even an eagle in the story. But you go see the last Ronin jump off the roof, swan dive. You go hear.
Stop. That motherfucker said eagles? Nigga, we in Brooklyn.
Look, you won't even see an owl. Hoo. Like, what the hell? But no, but yeah, there's a lot of other stuff that they're also nerfing Dead Hard again. That was the other thing. They're nerfing Dead Hard again. So now, in order to have Dead Hard, in order to be able to use it, you have to safely unhook somebody first. So until you do that, you can have Dead Hard on. You do not have it. They've also nerfed Pain Resonance to where you can only use it 4 times in a match. And only on one, like it has to be a different survivor each of the 4 times. And yeah, the game just sounds like it's going to be in a very terrible state. So, anywho's, we got here, Carter. You know what we got?
What we got?
Man, we got Jiggin out here with the 4 months. Says, you gonna read The Last Ronin, whether you like it or not. Actually, I think you should. You definitely should. It's a very good comic, and I think they're doing some continuations with it as well, like going back and kind of filling in some of the gaps in the story. There's another Last Ronin series out, which is it's good stuff. Good stuff. There's
it's after everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's after everything, but it's after everything, but it also recontextualizes stuff that happened during.
Mm-hmm.
So like if there was anything in the main story that you were like, they probably went back and addressed it. Let's see here. What else we got? We got Nerd Large in here with the 1999 super chat. Says, speaking on TMNT, has the Blerd Cave weighed in on the ethnicity/race of April O'Neil controversy. Listen. Says your ABC Eric blew his top the other week talking about young Slipper.
Yeah.
Young Slipper was upset. Look, let me tell you something. I bet he didn't even know it was
Here
April
he
O'Neil
goes.
until someone told him. Hashtag stay woke. But no, what I will say is we have not talked about it. I personally do not care. I do not like it. Look, can I be real with you, Carter?
Uh-oh.
I don't watch or read Ninja Turtles for April O'Neil, so she could be anybody. I wouldn't give a shit. They could have made that woman Chinese and 87 years old. Would not have cared. They could have made her a middle-aged Jewish mom. Would not care. I'm
gonna say something to be funny, and then I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay.
Raphael has a love interest that's a fox, and there's a new turtle in the team now.
Mm-hmm.
So, our favorite emo kid turtle is piping out a fox, and you want me to care about April O'Neil?
Wait, is this
every furry fantasy's dream, and you want me to care about April O'Neil?
Look, is this the is this the TMNT equivalent of we got a Loki alligator?
Like, dog, Raphael is getting that flop, the fox whop, and you want me to care about April O'Neil?
Yeah, I could not care less. I could not care less about that at all. Not to mention, it's not the first time, because the one of the last Ninja Turtles animated series, Rise of the Ninja Turtles, she was
that
black.
No one watched until
it got
after the
canceled.
fact.
Yeah, until after it got canceled. All the
When is
folks was
animation
mad.
cold?
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, because I actually remember everyone flamed me for wanting to give it a chance. And then when that fight scene started circulating around, people were like, oh, the show is always like this? And they're like, oh, see, no, man, y'all didn't give it a chance. Yeah, y'all ain't like me. Y'all didn't give it a chance.
How you
Says the
all
person who didn't give it a chance in the
flame-
first place.
How y'all flame TMNT, but everybody bragging that the Puss in Boots action scenes off the chain? Y'all some foul motherfuckers.
Well,
bro.
no. You know what it was? The only reason folks were going off about Puss in Boots is because of that other movie. What was that other movie that was it? It was a Disney movie that came out called Strange Worlds or Strange New World or something like that. And people were upset because it had a political agenda. And by political agenda, I mean one of the main characters was a teenage gay guy who
I've never heard of this.
didn't hide that he was gay. And his parents, who were a mixed race couple, were very okay with him being gay. That was it. That was it. It wasn't even focused on for a huge chunk of the movie. They focused more on them being trapped in a world that they didn't understand. That was what the movie was mostly about. The gay stuff was barely even like 15 minutes of the movie. Barely, if that. But because... Oh, and also because of Buzz Lightyear, because there was a gay woman in it. It was a gay woman, so therefore political agenda. But because Puss in Boots didn't seem to have a political agenda, that's why everyone liked it more. So go figure. Puss in Boots was just okay. I think honestly the only reason people even talked about it still because it also used that same animation style as Spider-Verse. Like kind of similar. It wasn't exactly the same. They used a similar animation style. So I think people just had nostalgia goggles for that. But LL Melvin L with the $1 super chat is out here showing support. We appreciate you, pimp. We also got $5 from Dominic Cole. Says crazy. Parents have selective outrage, aka book bans. Why everyone have to be forced to abide by your choice? Parent your damn kids or don't have any.
Are
Exactly.
we finna start seeing people use selective outrage now? Like crazy?
Maybe, but I mean, it's true. That is what it is. It's selective outrage because
Yeah. I just love that people are using that now. Like,
Yeah.
we found a new word.
Yeah, I mean, it is so appropriate to the entire situation because, like, what was it? What was the name of that penguin book? I forget the name of the book, but it was based about two penguins who were both male, who were caring for like a young chick.
I have no earthly idea.
It's based on a true story is the sad part. It's based on something that actually happened where two adult male penguins took care of this little baby chick. And people went crazy because they said, oh, it promotes a gay agenda. Well, it's not a gay agenda because things like this actually happen in nature. But whatever. Anyway, LJ Brown with the 27 months says Blerd on his Ahmad Johnson flex.
He was talking about you with the belt with your baby. That's what he was talking about.
Hey, look, dude, I forgot back in the day when Ahmad Johnson would do the Pearl River Plunge. When he did it, that motherfucker would scream. I used to always think it was the folks he was doing it to screaming. Then I realized it was actually him. I was like, God damn, that dude is screaming like somebody stuck a finger up his butt.
Dude, I saw it was a wrestling video where he went to Harlem. He went to WCW and he was Harlem Heat 2000. He did it on Booker T, but he's so overweight in WCW is like when he did it, he fell backwards, couldn't keep himself up.
Dude, Ahmed Johnson was hot trash. I used to like it when I was a kid, but man, when I got older and started understanding the business, I was like, oh, this dude is the shits. He's terrible. This dude's terrible. We also got the homie Terrell Fields out here says them kids gonna be all right. We can always make more. With the 2000 party over. Oops, out of time. Super chat. By the way, and you know what? It's actually appropriate. We're actually kind of getting close to. We're actually getting close to our next segment here. Before we do so, we're gonna actually pay some bills here. We got one from Jay Keno here. Man with 32 months says already preach. I had the same issues at GameStop. See, that's the thing. Parents, man. Parents just don't understand. They just don't.
Can I say something that's going to be really horrible?
I mean, you can.
I feel like your GameStop had the better parents. And that's why my argument with this, thank you, Extra, for gifting 5 more Blerd Without Fear memberships. Jesus Christ. That's why I feel like not a lot of parents are going to care about the Last Ronin being M-rated and shit like that, just because the parents I dealt with, like I said, I've only had one instance of one saying no. You, I think, had the better parents because of the area of the part of Memphis you were in.
Yeah. I
think
definitely.
that's why. I was in the hood. I was in the ghetto. You were, you was where you at. Yeah, so I think that's why you had those parents that would be like, okay, no, then you can't have this.
Yeah.
So I think that's what helps your argument. You had a better class of parent in your area.
Oh no, that's fact. That's a fact. Because these motherfuckers, they were like the SUV soccer mom. Yeah. All that shit. We got Dominic Coles with $2 says, I miss the days when folk mind they damn business. Man, me too. That's why I tell folks, I don't worry about what other folks' kids do. I'm like, man, y'all, as long as you ain't doing it to me, I don't give a fuck. You hurting anybody? Like, and this is gonna sound terrible, but I was driving down my street one day. This was about a year ago. These kids, teenagers, were walking home from school and got into a fight. Now, to be fair, it was a dude and it was a girl and it was a chick. They was beating each other's asses. She was hitting him like she was a grown man, and he was hitting her like she was a grown man. Now, these are not my children. I don't know these children. I don't even know what house they live in. As I pull up, they're in the middle of the street fighting. Now, the only reason I said something to them, I was like, look, man, can y'all break this shit up and scoot it over that way? Because I need to go pick my baby up. And they just kind of stopped, looked at me, They stopped fighting, scooted over, and kind of went their separate ways. But had they not been in the middle of the street, I wouldn't have said shit. Because I'm like, look, I don't know who started it. I don't even know who's going to finish it. But it ain't my place to parent other people's children. Should I have said something? Maybe. But it was not my place. So, mind your damn business is the moral of the story. Let's see here. Oh, wait. Nope. Lies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also, yeah, once again, extra for those 5. We've also got LP3 with $15 says, I love that this channel gets deep and stays fun, but I'll just leave everybody with this fun fact. One of the most bigoted people in history, J. Edgar Hoover, was LGBT. Hashtag hypocrisy.
And you know what? No, and they actually put it in a film.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody talks about that movie anymore. And it's Leonardo DiCaprio, so you really feel like more people would try to big up that movie. Nobody talks about that movie at all.
So the funny thing about that is, and I say this all the time, every accusation is a confession. So here's your homework for the next week until we get to the next Blerd Cave. I challenge you to start paying more attention to the political arena. And if you ever start noticing that there's people out there calling folks groomers, like you see like right-wingers calling people groomers or accusing people of being pedophiles or just going really hard at the LGBTQIA plus community, here's what I want you to do. Do some deep dives, and I guarantee you, here's what you'll find. Every person calling someone a groomer is a groomer themselves. Every person who is accusing someone of pedophilia has been, or very likely is, or does have a history of pedophilia. And those who lash out against drag queens and trans people, gay people, lesbian, whatever, they very likely do it too. I always like to use Madison Cawthorn as an example. I don't expect many of you to know who he is. But he was a right-wing rising star in the political spectrum who recently got fired from his job by the people of his district when they voted for somebody else. Because he did this thing where he constantly went at drag queens and transgender people. And he hated gay people. Yet, all these pictures of him surfaced where he was wearing dresses, wearing lingerie, dressing up like a woman, and even some instances where it looked like he was giving his own cousin a blowjob through his pants. So, Steven Crowder, you know the guy, Steven Crowder, the change my mind guy who's like a right-wing wingnut? That guy too. I know exactly who you're talking about, but this whole conversation is just, Well, I mean, but let me say what I'm gonna say though.
No, please, talk your shit. It's just wild.
Yeah. Oh no, it's because it's true. Steven Crowder, it's been heavily rumored he's actually gay himself for as much shit as he talks about gay people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also dressed in drag multiple times, and not just because. Yet, he tries to call drag queens dangerous, which means he himself is dangerous. Also, people who directly worked in Donald Trump's campaigns, people who accused others of being groomers, were actually found to have child pornography on their computers. And I mean child pornography of the highest order. Young. Super young. Like, get you not just put under the jail, but would get a whole town to come after you. I want y'all to think about that. That said, Dominic calls with $5 says most of the anger these folks have come from most of the same skeletons in a closet. A hit dog will holler. That's what I always say. Hit dog will holler. My granny used to tell me that all the time. She was never wrong. She didn't know much about the space program, but she could tell you about how folks will tell them themselves. Jay Keno with $2 says, nah, Carter, I was in the hood too. Hey, honestly, I thought the hood GameStops were the best because you could just kind of do whatever.
Oh no, we had like the same brother that would come in there daily just to play every demo every time we did it. Yeah, it was.
I'm like, all right, first off, this ain't the arcade. Get your ass up out of here. You know what? But speaking of getting your ass on up out of here, not really. That was a terrible segue. I do want to say real quick, we do have a thing I kind of want to talk about real quick, and I'm gonna we're gonna put this out here. For one, want to make sure that we point out we have a little thing I want to talk about. Some actually talked about in the video very briefly, but I do want to plug it here just the same. For those who have not been keeping up, there is a Kickstarter that is out there in the wild. I believe it's 10 days, maybe 10 days-ish, to its deal. But basically, if you saw my last video, then probably everything I'm about to say here is gonna be old hat. But here, pin that.
I need a new hat.
He does need a new hat.
I do.
But no, you probably heard me talk about the Eyelnd Feever Kickstarter. It's a augmented reality project. And you can kind of see right here.
What the hell was that action?
What?
Just his reaction to it, like, bro.
Hey, I mean, I would have been shocked if I saw that too. But no, this is an augmented reality comic. It's also going to be an actual physical comic, 150-page hardcover graphic novel, and the AR experience, the augmented reality experience, is going to be a full hour-long project. It's a really, really ambitious project. Something I think is actually really cool. It is basically, I don't know, it's an interesting way to read a comic, and it's something that I feel like it makes me think about all the things that could be possible with that style of storytelling, because it's not just going to be the comic. It's not just the augmented reality part, but like it's something that it speaks to all reading levels. So whether you are a person who can or cannot read, you would find some kind of a way to enjoy this because of the way that it's set up. It can be read like a comic. It can be watched like a movie. It can be played like a video game, pretty much. And it's on Kickstarter right now. I have the link pinned at the top of the chat. Go check that out. And if it looks like something that you think you'd be interested in, go show them some love over there on the Kickstarter. Tell them the Blerd Without Fear sent you.
I love stuff like that just because it's always it's a way to get someone to do something they normally wouldn't. You know how like a kid who doesn't like vegetables, so you put something else in front of it, boom. Now you have someone who may not particularly be that fond of reading, but they love VR stuff. They love augmented. I like when people do stuff like that, and not just because you and I both are two people that love to fucking read, but just a way to get someone to do something they normally wouldn't by incorporating something that they really enjoy doing. So I like stuff like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love it. Also, and while we're here, we're also gonna pay some more bills here because also, if you haven't done so before, they actually got some new stuff up on the blerd.com/Blerd shop.
They selling shea butter.
Oh, it's good too. I actually have some. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I actually have some. It's right here.
They got the shea butter.
Look, got some Blerd butter right here, y'all. Look at it. And yes, I actually have been. You can tell right here. I don't know if you see because of the light. I actually have been using it. You can kind of right
big
there.
ass fingerprint in there. You freak. I see you.
Hey man, sometimes you got to shade it up, man. You got to shade it up. But no, if you go to blerd.com/Blerd shop, you can you can go to that website. All these new shirts you see on here. I actually have a couple of these myself right now. But yeah, they got the Wonder Woman with the Afro puffs. They got the Akatsuki with the Afro puff shirt. They got some really cool new stuff up on there right now. New hat designs and all kinds of interesting stuff. So if you haven't done so already, go in there. You can use the promo code Blerd without fear. Get 20% off your whole purchase. So there you go. Got the shea butter. But no, let's go ahead and get into our next thing. These we're gonna run through kind of quick because there's not really a whole heap of lot to say. But Hulk has a new incredible creative team. Carter, yes. I think we actually talked about this before a little bit. I think the last time we spoke about this, we didn't know who was taking over the book, but now we know. The person or persons rather taking over the book from Donny Cates, since they have exited the Hulk series, will be.
Shit, you can. I was gonna say shit. You can't even say Donny Cates. It was pretty much Ryan Otley that finished everything off, which is just like kudos to him because I don't think he had ever like done it before, and he was getting a lot of help with it. So,
but let me finish.
Go ahead.
Because you cut me off as I was about to say who's doing it. Philip Kennedy Johnson will be taking over writing duties with Nick Klein on art.
You sure we didn't talk about that?
No, we did not.
We
talked about them leaving.
Kennedy Johnson.
We talked about Philip Kennedy Johnson doing Green Lantern, John Stewart.
Gotcha.
But no, Philip Kennedy Johnson, as we just mentioned, largely known for his work over on the DC Comics side of things, Action Comics specifically, and his more recent War World arc. He's also doing the Green Lantern series, I think both Hal Jordan and John Stewart's separate series, and he also did some work for Marvel. One of the things of note being the Aliens comic series. He did work on that. And Nick Klein has been actively working on Thor, but he's also done work for Captain America, Deadpool, Winter Soldier, so on and so forth. Nick Klein went on Twitter yesterday and announced that both he and Philip Kennedy Johnson are going to be putting the Incredible back in the Hulk, and that's quite literally because the series is not just going to be called Hulk, it will be called The Incredible Hulk as it has been in the past. So
did you feel like it was low-key shade? We're gonna put the Incredible back in Hulk. Like if you've been reading the last run and how people have been kind of divided on the last,
that I
did. Shade.
It seemed like a shot across the bow. As it were. But honestly, truth be told, considering that Nick Klein has worked with Donny Cates, I doubt that's the case.
Yeah. Love the cover. By the way, the cover is fire. Mm-hmm.
Also,
really,
this is actually one of the covers that is pretty freaking stellar. It's a pretty freaking stellar looking cover. I also like that, dude, Banner is looking rough. Dude, he is looking rough. Dude, even look, that sad walking music is gonna be even more sad. When you're yeah, you gonna hear that shit, be like, yep, he is on the struggle bus. Yeah. But no, we don't know much about what the series is gonna be about. All we know is that as an enraged Hulk tries to take control of Bruce Banner's body permanently, a mysterious immortal turns every monster in the Marvel Universe against Banner in an attempt to free their creator, the primordial mother of horrors. Now, with the help of an unlikely new friend, Banner and Hulk must try to stop the world from getting plunged into darkness in this terrifying new series. That is the Marvel statement.
Mother. I wonder if this means we might be going back to immortal stuff with the green door and all that stuff.
Part of me is thinking that I maybe not so much the green door, but I definitely think the horror elements that Al Ewing used in that series, I definitely think those will be in play. And considering they're talking about like giant monsters and horrors and things like that, those were all things that Al Ewing used. So I wonder if we're gonna even have like some Roxxon shenanigans going on, because that was technically who was involved with those giant monsters and shit. So maybe Zimnu is back. Who knows? They said unlikely new friend, so who's to say? We also got we got a death coming to the Titans. A Titan is going to die when the series launches. So the whole thing basically is that, for as far as what DC is talking about here, this is going to be Tom Taylor and Nicholas Scott working on this. But basically the whole idea is, will the new era for the Titans end almost as soon as it's begun? Probably, because the Justice League are already back. After one of their own is found dead, the remaining Titans must look for answers before more blood spills. Can they outrun the horrible fate that they've been dealt? Plus, a new Brother Blood rises as the team begins to fall apart.
Will he be the little brother? Little Brother Blood?
Look,
got his ass. That's all I want.
Look, wait a minute. I would be so down for it if they actually called him Little Brother Blood. But no, I don't know what's going on here with this. All we know is that if the cover is anything to go by, and once again, covers, they do lie.
Mm-hmm.
If the cover is anything to go by, we know it won't be Nightwing, it won't be Cyborg, it won't be Starfire, nor will it be Donna Troy. Now, the person on the ground is drawn to look very ambiguous.
Yeah.
However, if you look closely, you can tell that whoever it is, it's a dude. So,
all right, that's how they're gonna Ronin your ass again.
They'll be like, oh man. No, but so it's either right now the current roster is Nightwing, Cyborg, Starfire, Donna Troy, Raven, Beast Boy, and Flash. So either Beast Boy or Flash.
That would be so low down, because it looks like Beast Boy is trying to get better, even though he was all wrapped up in this last issue of the Nightwing. He might, all right, y'all, I'm ready. And he just gone.
Yeah, go sit your head. Dude, you know how mad I would be if they actually just brought back a Titan that hasn't been on the team in a while just to kill him?
Just to catch it.
Dude, you know they would do it to, right? They do it to Mal. They do it to Mal. They'd bring back Mal Duncan just to kill him.
Wow.
They would bring back Mal Duncan. Hell, they'd probably bring back Mal Duncan and Bumblebee just to kill them off. Two black characters on the team other than Cyborg, and they would kill the motherfuckers off just to prove a point.
Ask you something about with Nightwing.
Go ahead, shoot.
Because I see a lot of people are just, I don't want to say dick riding this Tom Taylor run, but it's getting a lot of praise. And I'm wondering, how do you feel about this in regards to the Tim Seeley run?
Oh, man.
Okay. There it is.
I like this run.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely done some weird things, but I'm not going to lie. I've actually thoroughly enjoyed it. Do I think it's as dick ride worthy as other people do? I don't know, because, I mean, I'll be brutally honest with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
I have liked a lot of Nightwing comics in the past.
Yeah.
There have been some good runs. And here's the thing. I often say this about Daredevil. Daredevil is one of the most consistently well-written characters over Marvel. Nightwing is, I would honestly say, probably on similar footing. Because I still go back to the old, the late 90s, early 2000s?
Okay.
Nightwing, back when he was trying to be a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might have actually been later. I might have to double check myself on that. But no, regardless, I feel like it's been a good run. It's had its ups, it's had its downs, but I feel like Tom Taylor's taken a lot of chances with Nightwing. Trying to introduce new elements, bring back old elements, and try and keep it fresh. I would put it pretty close. I'd put it pretty close. I don't know if I would put it like above, but definitely close. Definitely close. Okay, yeah, I was right. Late 90s era Nightwing. That's probably where I live. In regards to Nightwing in and around the time. I'm trying to remember who was on that back then. Who was on Nightwing back in the old Volume 2 era? That was that was back like the Chuck Dixon days. God damn.
Oh wow. Damn.
Yeah, it was like Chuck Dixon era Nightwing. God damn. So yeah, that's where I live. That's where I live as far as Nightwing goes. But some of that's probably nostalgia. I won't lie. Some of it's probably nostalgia. But I would definitely say if I had to put him on a pedestal, I mean, first, second, and third place ain't bad. You know, doesn't matter which one they get. It's not bad. It's all good company. With that said, though, Carter, I think it's time for us to get into our recommendations.
Okay.
What do you got this week?
A book that took 2 years to come out for only 3 issues. Swamp Thing Green Hell #3 finally came out this week.
I forgot about that.
It is finished. It is a complete story, and it seems like it's actually a somewhat sequel to this right here. It seemed like a lot of the stuff that Jeff Lemire
Yep.
did do this. So there was a lot of stuff that happened in this book that actually references the Animal Man run to me. So I think this might have been a sequel to that book. But yes, 3 issues took 2 years.
You know, New 52 Animal Man is not bad company to be in.
Hell no.
It is not.
That Swamp Thing? Shit.
Oh, no, 100%.
Especially, and you could pick either Swamp Thing. You could pick when Scott Snyder was doing it with this Animal Man stuff, or when Charles Soule finished it off.
Yeah, no, 100%.
What you got, Ernie?
Well, as it turns out, I actually have 2 trades right next to me. It's kind of funny that you brought up Nightwing runs.
Mm-hmm.
But here's 2.
Damn.
Right here. Actually from that era, the Chuck Dixon era.
Okay.
These story arcs. You got this one comes first, The Hunt for Oracle. It's where Blockbuster put a hit out on Barbara Gordon. And I think in the midst of all this is also when the Night Dash Wing thing was going on, where there was like this copycat that wanted to be just like Nightwing, but he was evil as shit. And then you kind of fast forward over into this one, Big Guns, where more of that is being continued. But great story. It's very much smack in the middle of things, but they are story arcs you can read without really having any like prior context. I would also say that it was also very interesting because this is at a point in time where, as I mentioned earlier, Dick Grayson is trying to ride the line of being a cop and a vigilante at the same time. So, like, he's going through the police academy. I think by the time you get to these, he's actually out. He's literally just graduated from the police academy. But also learning that the police department that he is working for in Bloodhaven is damn near as corrupt as the criminals out there. So basically, he's kind of back in yet another Gotham scenario. But, like, he's doing this on his own terms. And I feel like... Don't get me wrong here. It's not to say that, Nightwing hadn't struck out on his own before. But that was like a little 4-issue mini. His initial run was in 95, which technically is a precursor to these. This follows immediately after. but I feel like this was the moment where I'd always, like at this point, when I started reading these, I always knew, Nightwing, Robin, he's become Nightwing. Yeah, that's cool and all. These were the books that let me know Nightwing can stand on his own. So if you were ever a person who had any doubt about Nightwing standing on his own, these books will basically divorce you of that opinion. So yeah, Nightwing. This is from volume 2 of Nightwing. This is like the 96. What was it? 96. 96 to 2009 run. So this basically was the run that led all the way up to the New 52.
Oh wow.
You can read any portion of that run, and I think you will find something to like. There are some aspects of it I wish they would have brought over to the current continuity, but have not been brought over. So yeah, that is mine, and yeah, enjoy. I'm gonna set those there because I'm not gonna try and fit those back in. Here, let's switch over to let's get our questions from the Discord. Oh man, do we got anything in here? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Here, let's see. Oh, let's start with the first. Let's start right off at the top. Brothers, this is Jake Dizzle, by the way. I am a long-time Daredevil fan, like yourselves, but there are some gaps in my knowledge as I stopped reading after Brubaker. Ooh, man, yeah, that was a time. Then came back for Wade, and then left again after Wade until Zdarsky. Oh, man, so you missed. So after Wade, you missed the Charles Soule run, which is, that run is, it's wild. It says, I'm trying to think of a stellar Daredevil run that didn't have Foggy in it. It says, when I think of the upcoming Disney Plus show, I'm good with no Karen, but not having Foggy as far... Hold on. Wait. I just really processed what he just said. I'm good with no Karen. He's like, man, that girl going somewhere.
She...
That dude, he hit her with the Shannon Sharp. He said, that ain't no problem.
Shit.
He said, but not having Foggy? Nah, hell no. Oh, but no, I agree. But it says, as a minor character's, it says, but not having Foggy, as far as we know, as a minor character is new territory in my recollection. Can you think of a stellar run that had no Foggy whatsoever? I can't. I really can't. Matter of fact, I think the time when... And I know it's going to seem like I'm shitting on this book. I'm really not. I actually don't hate it. But the time during Shadowland, Foggy was around, but Daredevil, he wasn't with Daredevil. Like, Daredevil basically distanced himself from Foggy.
I feel like you knew what I was typing on my end, because I feel like when he was in control of Hand, Foggy wasn't really around like that.
Yeah, like Foggy was there, but he wasn't like next to Matt by his side like he normally is. I will also say, while this isn't the same thing, this is something that Mark Waid challenged my ability to cope with. If there's any one thing about the Mark Waid run that can be somewhat uncomfortable, is watching Foggy and Matt not be cool with each other. Like, there's not the whole run, but there's a portion of the run where Matt and Foggy are at odds. And it's like what? Yeah, it's like watching.
I'm sick of you.
Yeah, this shit's like watching your parents fight. I was like, man, this is uncomfortable. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I still love the Mark Waid run, but it was one of those things that I had to get used to. I was like, oh man, I don't like this Foggy and Matt not being cool. But yeah, it's a thing. And it still works. It still works because in the end, it all comes full circle, like it should. And Mark Waid doesn't drag it out. Like, he doesn't do like, oh, issue number 1, Matt and Foggy have a fallout, and they don't get back together until issue 32. It's like maybe for a handful of issues. Like maybe 10. I think it's like 10 issues, maybe. But I will say this. There have been some disputes And the new Daredevil series, there were some rumors that said that there's a possibility that some of the show takes place during the blip. But then those disputes were tossed out because there was a sign on a church, and the sign had something that was like, the year was like 2020 or something like that. But then someone actually went back to, like, on Google Maps and looked up a prior date, and it was revealed that sign had not changed in forever.
Okay.
Like, that was the last time that sign was actually changed. So, who knows? It might have been done on purpose. There's no telling. Nobody knows until we get there. All I can say is, if there is no Karen, that might not be the worst thing ever. If they go with the Kirsten McDuffie, that would probably be the best way to go. And then if you go with Foggy, I would like Foggy to be there. I feel like Foggy needs to be there. Though I will say, if they change the actor, I wouldn't be mad about it, because I feel like Eldon Henson was okay, but he doesn't feel like real Foggy to me.
You still saw that Basham brother?
Yeah, dude. Okay, so say what you will about the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. I felt like Jon Favreau was the perfect Foggy.
Yeah.
I felt like he was a perfect Foggy.
Yeah.
He was maybe a little too cool.
I give you that.
But, like, he had the attitude that you need to have to be Foggy Nelson. Let's do... LJ Brown says, want to know if you've seen the new Superman and Lois season. Man, thanks to my friend, I can't get what he said Onomatopoeia Mask looks like, but I don't want your video flagged by YouTube.
Do I want to know?
I have not seen it, and now I'm scared to look it up.
I've seen a bit of one episode because I had completely forgot that one of the sons, there's a new actor.
Okay.
They got a new actor for one of the sons because the original actor wants to step away from acting and stuff. I
remember that. I do remember that. I didn't know. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm scared to look. I'm scared to look.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you. Man, I don't know if I can show this because this dude looks weird AF. Oh my God, why? Why would y'all do this man or woman? I don't know. I don't want to assume. I don't want to assume gender or anything, but yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. This is what. Or here, we'll do it like this. This is Onomatopoeia in the comics.
Bullseye.
That too.
And he plays Marvel Snap, apparently.
Yeah, he's like, oh, snap. This is what he looks like on the show.
That don't even look like a mask.
That looks like a diseased... That's all I'm going to say.
It look like one of those roses those women use.
Danger.
Yes, it does. When we get off that before we get flagged. Let me get off that shit before we get flagged. Yeah, well, I've seen it. And now I believe it. We also got one final question in the Discord from Urban Presence Strong Style. Says, brother's question today is, could Dr. Doom be a great leader if he was an Avenger? That's not his problem. Dr. Doom's problem is ego. Even when he has tried to be good, his ego always gets in the way. Now, can he be a great leader in terms of, could he lead the Avengers properly? Okay, here's what I would do. I challenge any writer at Marvel, whoever's working on Avengers, which I think is Jed McKay coming up. I challenge you. Write an arc where Dr. Doom takes over the Avengers and spend that entire run everyone just hating his guts. And then eventually at some point people realize, oh, maybe he can actually be a good leader if he gets out of his own way. But the thing is, for him to be a good leader, he would fundamentally have to change who he is as a character. And then he wouldn't really be the Doctor Doom as we know him. If that makes any sense. Now, let's get into questions from the chat. Well, let's go back. So I think we got some back here that have been missed. Oh, we got one here from the man himself, Gearless Mo. Out here, coming in hot with a 1999 super chat. Says, I worked at Toys R Us Times Square. Met my wife there. We had dude. That is actually pretty fucking awesome. If I do say so myself.
Yeah, man.
I don't think I've ever technically me and my wife worked for the same company at one point, but we were already together. By that point, but yeah, I can never have said that. It says we had one on the staff that sold a copy of GTA San Andreas to a 10-year-old because the parent just wanted the tantrum to end. And I've seen it. I've literally seen it. I have literally seen parents annoyed that they had, because I remember when there was a woman in specific. It was during the holiday season. And this was when the line, remember, Carl, you remember how this was back during the holiday season where you would have rope lines and the lines would be it would be 10 lines inside the same store, just going back and forth through the store. She was so mad that she had to stand in that line. When I finally told her, she's like, well, why do I have to be here? I was like, well, ma'am, this is Grand Theft Auto 5, or I think, was at the time? Was 5 out yet? Yes, 5 was out by then. And I was like, well, there's nudity, there's violence, there's gore, language, so on. So she was like, that's all. Fine, just give it to him. That was the one. That was the woman.
Thank you for helping my argument. Thank you for helping my argument.
I'm about to break your argument. I'm about to break your argument. I'm about to break your argument because that was the same woman who came back. Who came back saying, "Why would you sell this to my kid?" And I said, "Ma'am, I told you," and she was like.
I done went off.
Oh, no, I did. Because Carmen got called on me. Carmen got called on me because the woman, she filed a complaint because I snapped at her. I was like, ma'am, I tried to tell you. But you acted like you couldn't be bothered to be a decent fucking mother. That's what I said to her. So there you have it.
We got to end the show right now. We got to stop it. We got to cut the show right now. This motherfucking Ernie, bro.
Hey, look, don't piss me off, man. I get mad. Look, let me tell you something. Carter, you ever heard the phrase mutually assured destruction?
Yes, I have. Oh, my goodness.
I believe in it wholeheartedly. I believe in it wholeheartedly. I will burn this motherfucker down if someone pisses me off. She was like, you can't say that. Yes, I can. I just did. Gokon sure his baby's father with $5 says, didn't they just put Dick and his team in the main spotlight? Why they bringing the Justice League back? Let the OGs fall back for at least a year, bruh.
Damn, they did just put Dick in the spotlight, huh?
They did. And now look at him. Now they're like, oh, by the way, Justice League coming back. So y'all don't get to attach these Titans.
That's the name of the show on Spotify right there. Putting Dick in the spotlight.
Put Dick. You ain't shit. You ain't shit, motherfucker. Let's see. We've also got John Battle with the 22 months in the gold mine since I've been picking up.
They are killing
the kid. Oh, something's killing the children. And my oldest daughter have very much enjoyed. Oh,
you know, council with that name. They're killing the kids.
Oh, okay, yeah. He said, but he said the kids and my he said and my oldest daughter. The kids and my oldest daughter have very much enjoyed. Thanks. Okay, yeah. He's talking about Something's Killing the Children. Great book. It's a fantastic book. Honestly, you may as well be because they're killing the kids. That's the name of the book from now on. That's the name of the book from now on.
They're killing the kids.
And then Nobody Except Me says $2 super chat. Thoughts on the end of Venomverse announcement / cover? You know what? I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about it, if I'm being brutally honest about it. Honestly, don't know how I'm feeling about it. What I will say in here, I want to pull up the cover. There we go. I wonder if this is the cover they're talking about here. The Death of the Venomverse. There's that one here. We'll pull up both of these, just in case. That's the Summer of Symbiotes right there. And here we'll pull up all these, and we'll just kind of see what happens here. Here, get that out of there. Bam. Let's do that. Well, so this is the cover for Death of the Venomverse. Which, at first glance, I didn't think much of, because it's like, oh, okay, just Carnage. But I started paying more attention. Like, oh, it's a bunch of different Eddies. A bunch of different Venoms underneath him. We've also got this one. This is the Extreme Venomverse. I like this cover a lot. This one actually looks pretty awesome. I like that.
That's dope.
And then this is the Summer of Symbiotes cover, which, kind of more of the same. You got Spidey and Venom laid out. Venom looks like he got his damn jaw broke. I mean, I'm interested in it. I need to actually catch back up. I haven't read the last couple of issues of Venom, so I need to get caught back up. I actually need to catch up on the last 2 issues of Carnage. But I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'm hoping it's good. Like all things, I never want anything to suck, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens there. Let's see here. What else we got here? I think that is it for Super Chats right now. I'm going back through. We got Snack Crumbs. Says, during those Nightwing runs as a cop, was he not receiving any financial support from Bruce? Did they have another falling out? If I remember correctly, I think Nightwing was on his own. I might be misremembering, but for the most part, he wasn't really in contact with Batman. I'm pretty sure Bruce was probably sliding some cheddar off to the side, but...
Okay, I thought you were somewhere else.
What you thought I was going to say was slide him some D? Slide him some Dick Grayson? Did you imagine how nasty that would sound if somebody actually said that? Girl, let me slide you some Dick Grayson. Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Y'all can't give me shit. I didn't even say it this time. Ernie said it. He went there.
Yeah, I did. Nobody Except Me says, I always heard about Animal Man, but never really seen the character. Was he ever in any animated DC stuff? I don't recall.
Somebody in the chat said that he was in one episode of the Justice League cartoon as a background character. I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The only thing that made me get this run was I saw how weird and gross this trade looked.
Oh, yeah.
And I was reading, oh God, what was I reading at the time? I was just a big fan of covers at that point. So I think that was when I started reading Cy Spurrier's X-Men Legacy stuff with Legion. So a cover would make me read something. Not even gonna lie to you. And then once I actually started reading this, that's when I started picking up the other trades, and I have the whole run. So yeah, that's really what got it for me. So it was a look thing.
Okay,
I didn't even know.
You know what it was? He showed up in Teen Titans Go.
Gotcha.
That was what he was on.
I thought that was stupid. I thought it was a weird, stupid character, and then I read the book.
He's actually really cool. If you actually pay attention to because basically he's like Vixen. Him and Vixen have virtually the same power. And it all comes from the same thing. It all comes from the red. But yeah, and I've even seen some instances where they've teamed up and worked together. But yeah, Animal Man's a great dude. He has a dumb name, but a lot of DC characters have dumb names. So you put and he no, never mind. So check this out. He was in Teen Titans Go and Teen Titans Go to the Movies. That's where you would have seen him in anything outside of comics. And then he's in one of the DC Nation shorts, but that's it. And oddly enough, voiced by Weird Al Yankovic. Don't know why. Let's keep going. We got some more here. Dare I even ask if anyone has watched Gotham Knights? I have not. I refuse. Let's see here. Going through it. Carl's just says Dr. Doom was with the Avengers in that Iron Man suit in the 2015-16. That's infamous Iron Man. Which yes. He was technically working with the Avengers, but he wasn't leading anybody. And even that was still kind of... It's kind of weird. It was kind of weird. Let's see here. Let's see. Here we go. We got Frantic Warrior says, I have a quick question. Who do you think will be the new visual effects boss at Marvel Studios, and what do you think about Morbius being in Deadpool 3? Or no, Mobius. Talking about Agent Mobius from the TVA.
Okay.
I don't know who the visual effects boss would be, but honestly, I hope whoever it is somebody competent and knows how to communicate. Because I feel like that is the main breakdown with the visual effects department with Marvel Studios. Based on reports from visual effects artists. Maybe, I don't know what they're paying these people, but, pay a fair wage, give them enough time to complete projects without having to crunch, and communication. Those three things will probably settle all their problems. Because I can tell you right now, speaking as a person who has worked in a disgruntled mood, you ain't going to get 100% from me if I'm mad. So, and I think that's the same for a lot of people. But as far as Agent Mobius being in Deadpool 3, I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like they could make it work, but I feel like a Deadpool movie would have so many shenanigans going on in it, I almost feel like it would be distracting. But, I mean, maybe that's the point. Let's see here. Let's see here. Here we go. Got one from JD says, brothers, please school a brother. There are 2 Dawn of X elements. I don't recall what happened to them. What happened to the Crucible and the mutant metal Mysterium or something? Okay, so here, I can tell you. So when Trial of Magneto came about, and the and also I think this was also during Way of X as well, but Trial of Magneto more specifically, when when Scarlet Witch helped create the waiting room, I think that kind of did away with the need for the Crucible. You don't really hear about the Crucible anymore. The last time I think I remember seeing it was in Way of X. I don't think we've really seen it much since then. No one really talks about it. I feel like it's one of those elements that just kind of got left out. But yeah, with the waiting room, you almost don't need it. Yeah, I mean, I guess technically you could still do the Crucible, because to be resurrected, you'd have to die anyway. But I think they've just found better ways to tackle that issue. As far as Mysterium, it's still very much a thing. I think it's just kind of calmed down a little bit because we're smack in the middle of Sins of Sinister. And it hasn't really had a need to come up. But it's still very much a thing. And as a matter of fact, it might have jumped its way over to the Scarlet Witch series. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm behind an issue, so. Let's see what else we got here. Here we go. Scott Fitzgerald said, are we going to talk about Warner Brothers and the Hollywood press trying to scapegoat The Rock for Shazam 2 not doing well? So here's the thing about that. There's been a lot of... Okay, so... Man. Carter, I don't know if you've heard anything about this, but...
Oh, I have. I want to hear this.
So here's the thing. People accused Zachary Levi of scapegoating The Rock, which I didn't really hear everything he had to say, but it kind of sounded like he didn't really have any beef with The Rock. I heard one of the actresses from Shazam, I forget her name at the top of my head, but the woman who plays the mother, the foster mother, she basically said that it was just people with like her message was kind of mixed up, but basically the way I interpreted it was she felt that people thought the movie had some kind of a political agenda and or other people had a political agenda in just intentionally not liking the movie or claiming they didn't like the movie because it was just a fun movie. It wasn't like tied to some like 10 movie story arc. It wasn't like something that like you had to watch 20 other movies plus 10 TV show spinoffs to get. It was just a dumb fun movie that was had charm and heart and didn't require you to think very hard about it. And to clarify what she meant when she said political agenda, basically what she meant by that was people who just wanted the movie to fail just because. Either because they're James Gunn stans and they want the new DCU, or because they're Zack Snyder stans and hate Shazam, period, because Shazam is nothing like the rest of the DCEU. Take with that information what you will. I honestly don't think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had much to do with Shazam's failure, because hell, if anything he had something to do with, he probably had more to do with the failure of his own movie, Black Adam. Because he overhyped the fuck out of that movie to the point that I feel like people either A, had no reason to go see it because they knew everything was going to happen because Dwayne Johnson told them. Oh yeah, Superman's in the movie. Okay, cool. We'll have to go see it now. Or he hyped it up so much that people would believe that it was going to be something more than what it was. And I feel the same way about Black Adam than I do about Shazam. It's just dumb fun. You know? I can watch it. I'm large. Hell, when I was on the cruise, I sat out by the poolside because they had like the big giant movie screen by the pool. Mm-hmm. And they had movie nights. And one night they played Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. They actually played it twice, 2 separate nights. And they played Black Adam 2 separate nights. And I watched both of them. And I mean, granted, I was drinking while I was doing it. I was having a good ass time. So I don't know. I think when people say that both movies are just objectively bad and terrible, I think that's just hyperbole speaking. But as far as, the Hollywood press and Warner Brothers, I feel like they're just chasing a story. I don't think The Rock has anything to do with the failures of Shazam. If anyone has anything to do with the failures of Shazam, it would probably be mismarketing. Or waiting so long to put out a fucking sequel. Because there was a good chunk of time between those movies. And it kept getting pushed back. And when movies get pushed back like that, like repeatedly, you just wind up with Morbius. So yeah, I don't have any beef with Rock on that one. Do you have anything?
People are making it seem like they're just trying to blame The Rock. Are people forgetting the whole Vin Diesel Fast and Furious situation? That's all I'll say. What is y'all asking in here?
One, Drake 45. Let's see. They say, how do you feel about Batgirls and Tim Drake Robin being canceled? I'm sad that Batgirls was canceled, but love Tim Drake. But his run in the first 6 issues with the art were just not good or okay. I think we've talked about the Tim Drake Robin series. Yeah, I didn't. Batgirls, I didn't read. Except for like the first issue. I didn't dislike it, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I just failed to keep up with it. But it does suck that they were canceled, and I'm pretty sure they're not the only ones that are about to get canceled. There's probably some other books that are about to get dropped. Let's see here. Bill says, big question, since Storm died and Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants number 2, Cora's given an offer. Could she energize the Storm worshippers who'll turn Storm's soul into a visible deity / dominion, aka Storm system? That is something I have considered. Because that's something that kind of got lost in translation with the Destiny's Revelations from Immortal X-Men number 3. There was actually something there called the Storm system, and we didn't really know exactly what it was or how it even was, like, what is it supposed to be. I could see that being a thing, especially considering how much talk there's been about belief in something bigger or greater than yourself, and how much that empowers something to become something else. We've seen this with the creation of a whole amalgam trickster god in Legion of X. We've seen this with Mother Righteous. We've seen this with lots of other deities in the Marvel Comics universe. So belief plays very heavily into that. I could see it. It's something I'll have to explore a little more. Maybe if I can find enough meat to chew on with that one, maybe I'll make a video about it.
Ugh.
We've also got LJ Brown with the 5 pounds. As I told Bergtown Music Group, the mask also vibrates. Oh Lord, talking about onomatopoeia. Says P.S. Blerd for children like Wu-Tang. Oh Lord, I need a shirt. I should design a shirt for that. Blerd Without Fear is for the children. No, he did not say that. Dick Gregory. Lord, Oh, I see something. Okay, now I'll answer this one too, because this is something interesting, because I actually didn't know this. I didn't read this recent week's issue of Marauders, so I didn't know that it had ended. But he says, Steve Orlando's Marauders ended. Are there areas of the comic that should have had better pacing, like keeping it one and done while continuing a plot line, i.e. Jerry and Pepe's X-Men arc? Yeah. Marauders was all over the place. It started off kind of going in one direction, and then like after the whole Xandra thing with the Shi'ar and all that other stuff, it just started getting wild, and I was just like, I feel like there's too much happening in these last few issues. That's why I really haven't talked about it on the channel, like, at all. And it's disappointing because I really like Steve Orlando as a writer, but yeah, if you had to ask me which Marauders run I would put in the hyperbaric chamber with me, it would not be Steve Orlando's. It would be Jerry Duggan's. But yeah, that said, here, let's see. Let's go through here. JD says, yeah, here we go. With the Krakoa era likely altered but not done away with after Fall of X, under what circumstances could you see the mansion utilized in a fresh way for the Merry Mutants? I mean, honestly, I feel like, you could still have, here's what I'm shocked has never happened. I'm shocked the Westchester Mansion hasn't been used as like a form of embassy or outreach group, or like a place for mutants to go and learn who don't necessarily want to go to Krakoa, or use as a school for children as it was originally intended. But in this case, parents who don't want their kids going off to some island that's constantly floating around all over the place. No, we want you here on American soil. I could see. I'm surprised that's never been brought up. And it would also give more to do. Like, honestly, Strange Academy. That's what I feel they could do with the Westchester Mansion, and without even having to change anything. You could keep the Krakoan era and still have the Westchester Mansion. Just treat it like the Strange Academy. Put all the children there, and you could have very specific mutants who aren't already like on X teams. It'd give you opportunity to use lesser known characters who don't get used very often. You could take those characters, like honestly, Dr. Cecilia Reyes, you could have her there teaching biology, science, medicine, stuff like that. You could have other characters there to help teach and whatnot. I feel like that is a missed opportunity. And honestly, if Marvel ever, not to say they would, they have no reason to, but if pie in the sky, if Marvel ever reached out to me and said, hey, Blerd, I want you to write an X-Men book, and you write about whatever you want, but it has to have the Westchester Mansion in it, I would just call it the X Academy. Or if we want to keep up with naming conventions, Academy of X. There you go. School of X. You can call it Saved by the X. There you go. There you go. That's the one. That's the one we're going with. Saved by the X. and you know what? I would intentionally create a new character. His name is Zach, and his mutant power is that he can break the fourth wall. I'm fucking with y'all. Clearly.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, man. We're gonna answer a few more, and then we're gonna get out of here. Let's see. I'm not gonna the stuff with Zachary Levi, the controversy. Yeah, we did talk about that just now. Chris H says, does Carter have on a humidifier? Is the air too dry where he is at?
Yes, I do have a humidifier on. I didn't realize y'all could see that goddamn stuff. But yes, it gets very dry here in LA, and I start hacking up stuff like crazy. So yes, I do. I'm going to cut it off now. I did not realize I knew what the hell was.
I didn't even hear it. So.
Oh no, you can't hear it. You can see it.
Oh, gotcha. I don't see shit, but that's just me. Wilbur Robinson says, is there a Sense of Sinister reading list so one can get the whole story? It's in the back of every issue. Basically, you read the Sense of Sinister one shot, and then you read what is it? Nightcrawlers, Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants, and Immoral X-Men, and then just wash, rinse, repeat with those last three until you get the Sense of Sinister Dominion. It's actually, for the most part, I don't like the way they did it, but it's more streamlined than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of what they did with Age of X-Man, but they did it better, if that makes any sense. I haven't seen Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn look. I somehow missed it. Here, I'll look it up real quick, see what
I feel like there hasn't been anything official. It's just some shit people making up.
Oh, no, I've seen it. Here it is. I see it now.
I just pulled it up now. Okay.
Yeah. It's a look.
It reminds me of the Black Label book that came out, Harleen, which is actually a really good book.
That is. So here, I'll pull it up so y'all can see it too. Here, let's. There you go. I mean, it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah. It's a thing that exists. That's all I got. I got nothing else for it. It does look reminiscent of Harleen. That was that question. Let's see what else we got. I'm kind of just scanning through. Wait. Here we go. Says, has there ever been an arc between Iron Man versus Green Goblin? And I mean like full out insane Green Goblin, not Dark Avengers, like Dark Reign, Norman, Iron Patriot. I don't think so. That one's from Snack Crumbs, by the way. I don't recollect one. I don't recollect one. I honestly feel like the first time I ever saw Iron Man and Green Goblin really like kind of toss hands at each other was Dark Reign. That was really it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe they have, but wait, what you got?
No, that don't count.
What were you thinking about? Superior?
No. There was it wasn't Iron Man though. It was the New Avengers.
Gotcha.
The New Avengers went at Norman after the Dark Reign stuff. He had become like the what's like the super adaptoid or some such shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was something like he took something and he became that. What's the name of the DC dude who like Superman even got whooped because he mimicked everyone's shit? It was like a machine. Amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like that's DC.
I know, but yeah, what I'm saying is Norman did something like that. Norman did something like that.
Okay, yeah. It was like so it was like a super. Yeah, so it was like you said, like
okay,
a super
so I was
adaptoid.
right.
Yeah,
sweet. Yeah, he did something like that, but he couldn't take it, and he had like a hard text, some such shit. But that was New Avengers. I don't think Tony was in that one, but that's the only thing that I can think of.
Let's see here. Did you read the story in the annual Women of Marvel issue? I did not. I have not read that yet. I have it on my stack of things to read. But I read Monica Rambeau Photon, clearly, because video out on it. But yeah, Carter, what'd you think about that? What do you think? Did you read Monica Rambeau Photon?
Not the newest issue.
Okay.
It is literally it's pulled up, or it's on my phone right now. I just got to swipe over and see it on Comixology.
Okay. Well, I mean, I won't say anything beyond that. You can find out for yourself.
Oh no, I know what it was because I have to stop going on Twitter if there's something I'm watching and or reading because everybody raised hell about the mutant stuff. So I knew I haven't even read about know what time it is. They spoiled me on Snowfall this week. They spoiled me on Monica Rambeau this week as well. So yeah, I got to stay off Twitter if it's something I got to check out. Yeah, especially if it's on a Wednesday. I got to stay off Twitter.
Oh yeah, no, I don't look at shit. I'm like, I gotta stay clear. But yeah, let me actually pull this up so I can read it later. But no, I will read it. I will read it once this is done. Let's see here. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that's the show. Let's get up out of here. Carter, you got anything that you want to share?
Nope, mind y'all business.
I agree. Mind your business, man. This is best free advice I could possibly give you. But no, in all seriousness, stay tuned. I got some stuff in the crock pot. I talked about this on Twitter. We got a video on Midnighter coming out. It's actually a video that I recorded like months ago, but I just never did anything with. I was actually debating about saving it for Pride Month, but I was like, nah, I'll just release it whenever. Nobody's going to care. And then also, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I didn't do anything specifically. I guess technically I did. I guess I could technically count the controversial comics videos, the 75th. But I usually do a character breakdown for like, milestones. So I think what we're gonna do is I got something for Dr. Voodoo. Got to talk about Dr. Voodoo yesterday, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that's what I'll do. And then maybe we'll get to some other ones after that. But let's see. I'm trying to think, what else is there? I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, no, I'm not missing anything. I will say that we are sneaking up on that 80. That 80K, y'all. So make sure y'all hitting the buttons, hitting the likes, hitting the shares, hitting the subscribe, all that good stuff. Sharing the channel with your friends, your family, even people you don't know. Just you see somebody in a comic shop, like, hey man, Blerd Without Fear. You might want to get on that. And that's really all I've got. I don't really have any other special game-breaking announcements. There's a Punisher video in the works. When my throat started hurting, I kind of took a breather from working on stuff just because I felt like sleeping was more important. So there's a Punisher video coming up here pretty soon. I just got to edit it. And who knows? There might be something else on the horizon as well. That's it. Let's get up out of here. I want to thank everyone, the chatters, the lurkers, the super chatters, the channel members, the patrons, everyone who supports this channel in whatever way, shape, form, or fashion that you do. I want to say thank you so much. So for Blerd Koa, for Earth's Mightiest subscribers, Earth's Mightiest listeners, Earth's Mightiest patrons, Blerd Club, for Carter Presents, I am the Blerd Without Fear. And Rob Liefeld, you can go to hell.